Future millionaires, and welcome back to my channel. I am Kayla.K.Keane, and welcome to another of my Ask Me Anything live. As the name of my live suggests, you can literally ask me anything, not just questions about finance or real estate, which is what my channel is about, but you can ask questions about anything you want to ask about. So, firstly, I'm going to get my tablet just so that I can read all of your comments. Let me just get that up and running to check out all of your lovely comments. All right. All right. So I see that I have 4 persons here with me. Thank you very much for joining. And feel free to start asking your question. I have 5 persons now. Okay. So persons were telling me earlier that they are waiting and so on. Not sure why I'm not seeing my comments on here. Just trying to get my comments up. Timoyo Bryan says, good evening. Good evening to you too. And thank you so much for joining. Sasha indicated that she was waiting. So, future millionaires, go ahead and ask your questions. I'm here for that. And remember to give this video a thumbs up, to share it with a friend. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Additionally, I want to say a huge thank you for 1,500 subscribers. I woke up this morning and discovered that I have 1,500 subscribers. So thank you for that. We just got to 1,000 in January, I believe. No, in December. So I have counted up 500 since that short space of time. So my mom is here on the live today. Thank you, mommy, for joining. She says, hi, my princess. Mommy loves you. Love you too. And thank you so much for supporting and watching. All right. So I'm waiting on you all to start commenting so that we can get the ball a rolling. However, there are some new developments. So while I wait on you to ask your questions down below, I'll update you on those new developments. So, firstly, the Silver Sun Estate housing scheme over there in St. Catherine is almost ready to take applications. So, if you were interested from my last video in that housing scheme, please go ahead and apply. Additionally, get something to drink. I have water, you know my style, water in wine glass as always. So get something to drink, get comfortable, and start asking all your questions. So Tiran has joined. Tiran Stens, thank you so much for joining, Tiran. And he's asking, may I have some of the water? Certainly. Actually have a larger bottle here, so you can definitely have some of my water. But yes, guys, so what are the burning questions that you have wanted to ask about? Feel free to start asking. And as I was saying before, remember Silver Sun Estate, that housing scheme is now ready to accept applications. So if you were one of the persons who were asking me about that housing scheme, then you should go ahead and prepare yourself to apply. Remember that as it relates to NHT properties, what you need to apply is, firstly, you need to get your pre-approval letter. So considering that you have been contributing for a year or so, then you need to go ahead and get your pre-approval letter from the NHT. So someone asked, well, mommy is asking, who inspired you the most and why? Um, no one in particular inspires me the most. I take inspiration from several persons. Um, there are good and bad qualities about everyone, so I try to learn from the good in everyone and learn from the bad too. So I learn a little bit of something from everyone. But some of the most influential people on my life has been my family members, really, because they're your first point of contact. So my mother, my grandmother, obviously, they raised me, so I would emulate a lot from them, whether I want to believe it or not. When you're around someone for so long, you do learn a lot from them, and you do emulate qualities from them. So those are the persons who have inspired me the most. As it relates to persons who are not family members, there's this lady, her name is Lisa Nichols. She inspires me too because of her life story. She had a child when she was very young, couldn't afford to take care of that child. And as a result, one day the child literally didn't have diapers to wear. And she thought about the situation that she was living in. She was in financial ruins and said to herself, no, man, I definitely cannot live my life like this. In her own words, she felt like money burned a hole in her pocket, being that she always spent a lot of money. She didn't save, so she didn't have a plan. And she said at that time when her son didn't have food to eat, didn't have clothes to wear, didn't have diapers, she looked at the situation and said to herself, no, this is definitely not the type of life that I want to create for my child. And that is it with us in life. Sometimes you can look at your situation and decide that you want better and start doing better for yourself, which is a large part of why I started the channel. We are a community and we are stronger together. We can help each other to achieve our goals. I'm aware that none of us know everything. We're not geniuses by ourselves. We are smarter together, stronger together, a better system together. We're less likely to fail together. So she looked at her situation and decided that that wasn't the type of life that she wanted to have. So as a result, she changed her life by, starting to save and invest. What she would do is from her small salary, because she was working a minimum wage job, she would bank a certain amount of money every single week when she got paid. And she named the account because she's living in the US. There, I know you can name your account, not just like saving account or whatever. You can name each of your accounts. She named her account investing for my future or something to that effect. And she continued to save until she had enough money to properly take care of her son. And when she went back to the bank, maybe after 2 years of saving, she had a good amount of money. And the persons in the bank wanted to see whose account it was because they saw money going in and it was called Saving for My Future. And they didn't know who was the face behind the account. So those persons inspire me because it shows me that regardless of the situation that you are faced with, you can still overcome, you can still become something or make something of your life. So I'm moving on to the next question. I see a lot more persons have joined. Thank you so much for joining my live. Remember to hit the thumbs up icon, and I'm going to get into all of your questions right now. I was just answering a question, so I'm finished with that one. Let's move on. All right. So the next question is from Dwayne Bennett. It says, good day. Just wondering if I should apply for Silver Sun Estate Phase 2. I just reached 1 year contribution with the NHT, have good salary and money in the bank, but I don't think I have the points. All right, Dwayne. So remember, last week we were discussing the NHT point system as it relates to buying NHT scheme houses, right? So if you don't have the points, you can't qualify for the scheme house. So what you need to do, I doubt that at 1 year contributing to the NHT, you're going to be able to afford that property just yet. Because remember, it's not just about the money that you have in the bank. It's not just about how much your contribution amount that you qualify for from the NHT, it's also significantly about the point system. That is the difference between the buying a house on the open market and buying one of the NHT scheme properties. So what I want you to do is to think about buying on the open market until you qualify for the NHT point amount. So I don't think that you'll qualify for that property just yet. So what you're going to do is look on the open market. So you need to get a realtor, let them have your pre-approval letter. You can also get a pre-approval letter from the bank and have them look at, have your realtor get that information and look at what you can actually afford. You won't qualify. I can tell you that off the bat, that you won't qualify for those properties. You're going to be going up against persons who have been contributing for years. By the way, guys, remember to give the video a thumbs up, okay? All right, so Tiran is asking, can you give some best practices, tips on one should take to make a transition from one job to another? Okay, certainly. All right, so that's a very good question, first of all. Very, very, very good question. So when you're transitioning jobs, it's a process that is not just something that you can do overnight. You can just get up, leave one job, go to the next, and think that everything will be okay. Transitioning jobs can be very difficult, but here are my tips on doing so. And I've also made a video about it. Um, so you can also watch it when the live ends also. So when you're thinking of leaving your job to go to another job, the first thing is that you need to be mentally prepared. Remember that, especially if you were at your first job for a long time, you need to mentally prepare yourself to leave your current job. I have a book somewhere behind me on my bookshelf. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? That's an excellent book to read if you want to change job or make any transition in your personal life, because it prepares your mind for change. Most persons are afraid of change, and you can comment down below. Um, if you are afraid of change, comment afraid, and if not, comment not afraid. So if you're afraid of change, comment afraid, and if you are not afraid of change, comment not afraid. Many persons are afraid of change. The very thought that they will have to change something scares the life out of them, right? However, so that is why you need to prepare yourself, firstly, for the change. Secondly, you need to have savings. Remember, we've been talking about emergency fund from the beginning of this channel, and I said that everyone needs to have at least 1,000 US dollars as an emergency fund. Is it easy to just get up and save, call it 100,000 Jamaican dollars overnight? Maybe not. However, if you put a plan in place to save this money as your emergency fund, then it's possible. So look at your salary, look at how much you can save monthly, and start taking out a fixed amount before you do anything else, before you pay your rent, before you take out your taxi fare, before you take out anything else, take out the money that you intend to save. So once you do this now, what you're going to do is times that money by the amount of months that you will have to save in an effort to get to the emergency fund amount of 1,000 US or 100,000 something Jamaican dollars, right? So that's the second thing you need to do. Ensure that you have money, because you need money for more than one reason. If you are not going from one job into another job, which is what I suggest that you don't leave your job until you are sure of where you're going to work next. However, not all of us can be sure that we're going to be secure in another job, and you could have to leave your job for emergency purposes. So you will have to leave whether or not you want to. So that's the third thing. And then fourthly, if it is a case where you can hold off a little bit before leaving, try to look for another job before you leave. Compare the salaries, ensure that this is something that can assist you in managing your own personal lifestyle. For the persons who just joined, we are talking about where I'm answering a question actually, where someone asked about advice I would give if they want to leave their current job, what advice I would give them. Tiran is asking if I can lend him the book. Most certainly, Tiran, I can lend you that book. And for persons wondering what book we're talking about, we're talking about Who Moved My Cheese. All right. So someone is asking, oh, Tiran is saying, I won't be online for much long. Just took a stop or on the road, you're on the job, or just joined the live to ask my question. Oh, thank you so much for joining, regardless of your rather busy schedule, Tiran. Uh, Sash Molo is asking if you carry the financial burden for your family and can barely save much, have a car payment, and want to purchase a home on your own. What advice would you have for that person to get to their goal? All right, this is a very good question because I think quite a few persons are in that situation. All right, so firstly, guys, thank you for joining. I see I have more persons joining now. Thank you very much for joining. Remember to hit the thumbs up icon, give the video a thumbs up, and share the live with a friend. All right. Oh, and additionally, remember this is the Ask Me Anything edition of the live. So, whatever questions you have, don't just stay on the live, but ask your questions. All right. All right, so now for Sash Molo's question. So she's saying that there are persons who carry the financial burden for their entire family. And you know that is very common in Black families. And as a result, she said that they might have a car payment, but they still desire to own a home, right? So, what advice would I give? All right. So, not because you are burdened or because a person is burdened with taking care of their family or so on, extended family or so on, means that they don't want to achieve their goal. So my advice would firstly be, as it relates to the car payment, that is one of the areas that you're going to have to focus on sharply. So you're going to have to do everything in your power to reduce the amount of money going out and increase simultaneously the amount of money coming in. So if that person has one job, you want to look at a second revenue. And remember, when I say a second job, it might not necessarily be that you're going to go to another 9 to 5. It could be that you're going to start a small business on the side, and the other family members who you're assisting also can do the same thing. Whether it's going to be you're going to start a little corner store, or you're going to start a little supermarket, or whatever business idea, if you're good with your hands, if you can sew, it means that you're going to have to start selling sheets on the side, but you have to increase your income. Because I guess if you're assisting family members, one of the concern is that you're automatically going to have less money for yourself and for your personal needs. So you need to look at how you can augment your regular income. Secondly, as it relates to debt, which would be the car payment would fall into the category of debt, you have to look at how you can reduce that debt. So if you can try to pay it off early, which having the second income would assist with that. If you can try to get rid of that car payment, it would be great. So whatever extra money you get, if it's a gift, money as a birthday gift, money as a incentive at work, like a lump sum, any payment that is owed to you, somebody owe you and give you money, all of that money has to go to the car payment, because the quicker the car payment goes, the better it is as it relates to your chance of owning a property. Because remember that when you're trying to buy a property, they're going to look at your salary, how much you're earning, and you have to be getting a certain percentage of your pay to take home for you to afford a mortgage. So that money that you're paying as car loan, you want to reposition it towards your mortgage. So as a result, you have to figure out how to reduce that debt quickly. Humble and Calm TV is saying hello, sis. Hello. This is one of my fellow YouTubers, Future Millionaires. So feel free to subscribe to her channel also. She's also a Jamaican. So feel free to subscribe to her channel. So Sashmolo, those are the advice that I would give you so far. And generally, it's two things basically. Everything that I said can be round up into two things. One, you're trying to increase the amount of money that is coming in. And two, you're trying to get rid of the debt, which is the car loan. So that's my advice to you for now. That's the simplest way for me to explain that. All right. Remember, future millionaires, that this is the Ask Me Anything live. I do it every Sunday at 6 p.m. sharp, local Jamaican time, that is. So for my subscribers in England and Canada, I don't know if the time in Canada is different. I know for England they're a couple of hours ahead. So just work out the time difference, please. All right, so Garth Dwyer. I know Garth is watching from Canada. Garth says, "Hi, good evening, Miss Kayla." Garth, you don't have to say Miss Kayla. You hear? Kayla is fine. How is the Jamaican economy doing since COVID-19? Which financial institution are you working for, Miss K? Garth from Canada. All right, so firstly, Garth, the Jamaican economy has taken a beating from the COVID-19 pandemic, and that is because remember that one of our main income earners is tourism, and countries like Canada, where you are now, have closed their borders and are not allowing persons to travel out or in now, right? You can just comment and tell me if that has since changed. I know that up to last week that was the case. Your prime minister had closed your borders. So as a result, Jamaica is really suffering because tourism is probably a good 70% of our income as a country. So we have taken a battering. Secondly, you asked which financial institution I work for. I don't currently work for a financial institution. At one point, I was working for one, though, Sagicor, as a financial advisor. Not currently working with Sagicor, though. All right. So let me just get the other question. And by the way, Garth, thank you for watching. You're always watching. What's the weather like over there in Canada today? Is it quite cold? I know that the US having some little issues with their weather. They're really having really bad weather now. The joys of living in the tropics, eh? Well, let me know how your weather is. All right, so Timoy O'Brien asks, what are the differences between buying a house before you're 30 versus buying at 40? Reason why I ask is if we get 20 points every year, it would take most people 20 years. It would take most people 20 years unless you use parent assist. All right, so the question is, what's the difference between buying a house before you're 30 versus when you're 40? All right, and that question is coming off the heels, as he says, of the parent assist issue with NHT, for want of a better word. All right, so the difference between buying a house at 30 and buying a house at 40 is the 10-year period. The the earlier you buy a house, the better it is because you have more time to repay your mortgage. So think of it this way, right? If I lend you $10 and I tell you that you have 10 years to repay that $10, then you can pay me $1 every year, right? But if I lend you $10 and tell you that you have 5 years to repay, then you will have to be paying at least $2 every year. So when you think about that in the bigger sense of, say, a mortgage, say someone who is 20-year-old now in Jamaica, if they buy a house, if they would pay $20,000, then somebody who is 50 would have to pay, let's say, $70,000. So you can see the difference. It's way harder to pay for the house when you are older. However, the NHC point system does favor persons who are older because you won't have 400 points until you're working at least, say, 20 years, as you correctly said. So that's the only difference. But I want my subscribers to remember that we do not have to buy houses from the NHC. We don't have to buy scheme houses from the NHC. We can buy on the open market. So that's another option. Remember, it's not just your $6.5 million that you'll be using. You'll be using your loan portion of the money to add to that, right? Yes, but that's a very good question. Thank you so much for asking that. Let me see what are my other questions. JM is saying, "Hi Kayla, you're so beautiful in your natural state." Oh, thank you, thank you. Didn't have much time to put on any makeup or anything. I just had to run on. I was running a little bit behind schedule. All right. Timoy says, or use a partner. Okay, I guess that was the other part of your question. Oh, you say you have to use parent assist or bite with a partner. Yes. That's another option for persons who are in committed relationships. If they join their NHT points with them, so it would be you having 6.5, them having 6.5, and then you get a portion from the bank. So if you're buying with someone, you can afford a way more expensive property as opposed to if you are going to do it by yourself. Let me see the other question. JM has some questions here. By the way, for the persons who are just joining, remember this is the Ask Me Anything live, so you can ask any questions at all that can come to your mind, whether it's personal, finance, real estate, anything at all you want to ask me. Anything at all you've always wanted to ask, anything at all. Once I can answer, I'll provide an answer for that. All right. So JM is saying, which of these development is the best in your opinion? Seascape, Bayfront, Phoenix Park. All right. You see, to answer that question, you have to think about it this way as it relates to development. Which development is best would be dependent upon your needs. What are your needs? So a development that has a slide and a park would be best for someone who has kids, right? But a development that has a jogging trail would be better for someone who is into fitness, lifestyle, who is body conscious, who is conscious about their health. So I couldn't just say which is better would depend on your personal needs. So, what I want you to do is to look at your personal needs and then look at the developments, and that's the way you'll make an assessment of which is best for you, right? Additionally, as a new person's joining still, thank you so much for joining my live. If it's your first time here, I'm Kayla.K.Keane. And this is a live that I do every Sunday at 6 p.m. I call it the Ask Me Anything live because I want persons to literally ask me anything at all that can come to their mind, not only questions that relate to my channel, which is about finance and real estate, but general question. If you want to just chat me up, this is the time for it because I recognize that in my regular videos, you don't get an opportunity to know my personality and so on. So this is your opportunity. Um, all right, JM had some more comment. Let me just check those out. So he was saying, Camelot is in Discovery Bay, by the way. Okay, great point, Kayla. You are most welcome, JM. So yes, that is how you would make an assessment of which which property is better. By the way, I see some persons who are watching who have not hit the like button as yet. Please hit the like button. Remember to give the video a like so that I can know if this is the type of content that you want to see. And additionally, on a weekly basis, I post questions and comments and just have general chit chat in my community section here on YouTube. So remember to check those out. In my community section here on YouTube, I had asked earlier last week, I had asked the format that you prefer my live to be in, whether you prefer me to have a topic so we could talk about real estate this week, finance next week, or it could continue to be in this format, which is the Ask Me Anything format, where you can literally ask anything in this world, not just finance and real estate questions, but you can ask anything. Most persons said that they preferred the Ask Me Anything edition so that they can just talk about anything that they want to talk about, as opposed to being stuck in finance this week, stuck in real estate next week. I prefer to do it that way too, but just comment down below and tell me. Ask me anything edition, or you want to have a specific topic each week. So just comment topic or ask anything so I can know which you prefer. All right, so I have some more question. Um Tatiana Dixon is asking, how did you get into personal finance and real estate as it relates to your education, to career, etc.? All right, so Tatiana, I'm a trained journalist, so that's what I studied in school. So that in and of itself would allow me to flexibly choose whichever area of life I want to talk about or focus on. As you know, you can be a lifestyle journalist, you can do different things. However, after studying journalism and public relations, I decided that I wanted to understand better finances because one, I grew up knowing a lot about finance and being educated, being financially literate, so to speak. So I wanted to understand it better. So at one point when I was on leave, I actually went to the College of Insurance here in Jamaica and studied to become a financial advisor. So after that, I worked with Sagicor as a financial advisor for a while. And that is what qualifies me to speak on the finance bit of it. Real estate has come on board with the finance because of a lot of research, a lot of reading, and so on. So that's how I got to get to this area now where I talk about that on my YouTube channel. By the way, guys, remember to give the video a thumbs up, and thanks for that question. That's a very good question, Tatiana. All right, I'm moving on to Artwork Fly now, who says, I'm a bit late. If you are still paying rent, which is better, buying a land, guess buying land or building a house? All right, so whether you buy or build depends on a couple factors. So if you buy land, right? Well, you're asking about buying land or building a house. If you buy land, you have to remember that if you buy land, you can't just live on the land. So obviously, you're going to be paying rent for a while still. So does that really solve the issue that you have, or would it be better to buy a house? In my opinion, it would be better to buy a house, but it depends. Is the rent an issue now? If it's not an issue and you can afford to pay the rent and buy land, then you can do that because you can always buy a house at a later time. For some persons, they really want to build a house. They don't want to buy a house because they have a specific dream of how that house should look and so on. So if you are that person, then it's better if you are that person, then it's better to buy land and build. But remember that you're also going to have to pay the rent during that time. So if you're not so specific about architecture, how the house should look and so on, then you can go ahead and buy a house because remember you can fix it to your liking, you can renovate and so on. So if I was in that position, I would buy a house because remember you can buy more than one house. So the money that I'm using to pay rent, I would love to use it to pay mortgage instead. Not true. So let me know what you think about that. I would buy a house instead. I see more persons joining. Remember to give the video a thumbs up, guys, and ask anything at all in the comment section. I have some more questions, so I'm going to hurriedly take those. JM is asking, would you be open to doing fitness or reading club connect on your channel? Um, if I can fit it into what I currently do, I'm into fitness in my personal life and I'm into reading. So I have done some book reviews on the channel before. So I guess that would fall into that. But the books have to be about finance or real estate because I really want to keep the channel about finance and real estate. I'm not saying it will never evolve in the future. However, for now, I know that most of my subscribers are here to hear about finance and real estate. So I prefer to keep it about that so that they can get what they came for. It's like signing up for a church, and when you go, it's a party. That's kind of hard, right? So, yes, I prefer to keep it within. But both of the things that you mentioned can fit in because, for example, fitness is a large part of finances because I always say your health is your wealth. So, you can save all the money you want to save. If you don't have good health, you have nothing. All right, let me see if I have another question. Hit the thumbs up, guys, while I search for the questions. Hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. I want to see the thumbs up icon moving. Hit the thumbs up. All right, JM says, awesome. Please recommend uh, any books whenever they arise. I love reading too. Oh, that's awesome. So I have a fellow bookworm. Yeah, they're awesome books. You can tell me some of the books that you've read too, because on here I probably predominantly talk about the books about finances. And remember that finances has to do a lot with your mind. So books about the mind too, I consider them uh finance books. So, for example, the book that I mentioned earlier, when Tiran asked about leaving your job, and I told him that I think Who Moved My Cheese is an excellent book to read if you're approaching any sort of change situation in your life. Change is always difficult, but when you start that process from here, in your mind, you prepare yourself for the change, it's way easier for you to make that transition. Ian Lavanzant has a book that is right here behind me that is called Until Today. It's also a book for the mind, but it has assisted me. Let me see if the light is too much on it. See if you can see. You can see it? Yes, Until Today. So it's like a devotional book that you read every morning, but it has assisted me to, just settle my mind to be able to achieve my other goals. Because we have to remember that goals are dependent on other things. So we have to be very um, careful of how we approach things. And for me, it's important for me to be mentally ready. There's another book here, but the title has a curse word in it. So I don't know if I want to show it. Yeah, I can show it. I can block out that word. You guys know this one, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Blank by Mark Manson is another powerful book that can get you thinking about where you want to go in life and not so concerned about the opinions of others. As you know, this is another powerful book, and I didn't plan to do this, but I'm sitting in front of the shelf. So yeah, if you ask about books, I just show you some of the books that I read or have read, and they are beneficial to me. And when I read the books, I don't just park them on the shelf. Sometimes I start rereading them when the situation arises. So this book is 48 Laws of Power. I think everyone should read this book. It's kind of hard to digest though, because it's written in Old English and it's quite thick, but very, very powerful book. If you're not a deep reader, you can buy the concise edition, which would be easier for you to read, more palatable, and so on. So that's the 48 Laws of Power. Everybody should read this. Um, Maybe one day I can do a video specifically about books. Who Moved My Cheese? The book I was telling you about earlier was so powerful. I ended up getting this one. Somebody got me this one. I Moved Your Cheese, which is a response to Who Moved My Cheese. This book is by Deepak um, Malhotra. Yes. So these are some excellent books that I have read. And as you guys can see, I have a big bookshelf. I like reading, and not just reading for the fun of it, but reading can be very inspirational, uplifting. And the thing about books is that it's literally somebody's years of experience that I can get in one day or a couple hours. Remember that if you don't like to read, also, there's always the option of getting an ebook. So you can just plug it into your car or plug it in your bedroom, put it on your computer, put on your phone, put on your headphones, and have somebody read it to you. Additionally, not everything that you're doing in life has to cost money. So remember that There are books here available on YouTube. You can just type in the title of the book and listen to the audio version for free. So that's also an option. I want you guys to remember also another great book that you should all read, and it depends on the type of person that you are. This one is not for finance, but the art of war, because it teaches you how to deal with, everyday life conflicts and so on. As part of getting to our goals, real estate and finance, sometimes you will be struck with conflicts, both internal and conflicts that have nothing to do with you. And you have to be able to manage yourself through those difficult times to get to where you want to get to. Anyways, let me not digress any further. I think I have some more questions. Let me respond to them. And my response just now was to JM, who was asking about book recommendations. So Timoy O'Brien now is asking, what are some of the more lucrative options in terms of applying for jobs in Jamaica? All right, that's an excellent question, guys, and continue to ask your questions. So as it relates to lucrative jobs, I think one of the most lucrative fields here in Jamaica is IT. Anything that has to do with technology tends to pay a lot of money, especially now we're in the middle of a pandemic, and persons who did not take IT seriously have absolutely no option. Right. So even if you didn't take it seriously, you didn't think IT was important, no, they have no option but to take it important, to treat it as important rather. So, for example, there are persons who, big executives who cannot, some of them can't even turn on their computers. So, they won't be able to set up their own Zoom meeting, their own live stream of a conference, nothing at all. So, those areas seem to be quite lucrative now. Communication is also another field that always has jobs, and it's not the most lucrative in the world, but it is lucrative too. Finance is also another lucrative field, and the medical field is one of the most lucrative of all fields. It might not be the most lucrative here in Jamaica, but it's lucrative right across the world. So if you're planning to do a degree, for example, doing something in one of those fields would make sense at this time. If you are a nurse now, in most countries, you can get a really good job because obviously your service is needed. Mind you, there is an increased risk with persons who plan to go into the medical field, but it can still be lucrative. So, what are the other questions? That was a question for the person who just rejoined the live about lucrative fields here in Jamaica. I'm not seeing any questions, so ask your questions, guys. And remember, while you are typing your question, to hit the thumbs up icon also. It helps with my YouTube algorithm, and it helps me to know that you are enjoying the content as well as the type of content that you like, so that I can produce more of those content. If there's something specific rather that you want me to speak about, please go ahead and tell me in my comment section, and remember to share the channel with your friends so that they too can become financially literate. For the persons who are watching who have not subscribed as yet, please go ahead and hit the red subscribe button so you don't miss a notification whenever I post. For those of you who are here specifically for real estate purposes, remember that the Silver Sun Estate Phase 2 is coming out soon. So if you plan to buy a house in the foreseeable future in 2021, if that is on your vision board, at the end of 2021, you want to own your house, now is the time for you to get ready because the houses are coming. By the end of this week, I'll have a more comprehensive video on houses that are available on Friday. My Friday video will be about that. So stay tuned to the channel. There are lots of updates coming your way. lots of information about new houses. Additionally, about the last video that I did, the last video that I posted on Friday was about consolidating loans. I think it is important for all my subscribers to be au fait with the process of consolidation, to understand consolidation, and to know everything they can about it before making a decision to consolidate, right? So if you haven't watched that video, you definitely need to go do that, right? So while I wait on your questions, future millionaires, just a quick reminder, I post videos twice weekly. On a Friday at 3 p.m., I post a video every Friday at 3 p.m. And on Sundays at 6 p.m., I go live to answer your questions, or if I'm unavailable to go live, which is if I'm unavailable to go live, then I'll post a video at 6 p.m. So I'm live on Sundays at 6 p.m. Donna Brown is commenting, well done. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching also. Right. So that's the program schedule, Future Millionaires. So there's never any need at all for you to miss another video. Say it with me, Fridays at 3 and Sundays at 6. Fridays at 3 and Sundays at 6. So for the persons who are just joining, remember to hit the thumbs up icon as you come on. And if you have not done so already, hit the red subscribe button so that you won't miss another video. JM is typing out the program schedule. Yes, JM. It's Fridays at 3, Sundays at 6. Don't need to forget that. Yes, guys. So I was saying earlier that if you haven't subscribed already, I know some persons like to watch YouTube channels, but you don't subscribe. You'll probably come back, watch the content, but you don't subscribe. It's important for you to subscribe so that the YouTuber, me in this case, can know that you like the content and continue making YouTube videos. Some persons, because they don't see the reaction of their subscribers, they are not sure what videos they should make or if what they're doing makes sense. So that's the reason why I want you to like, comment, and subscribe so I can know that you are liking the content. All right, so let me just check to see if I have any more questions in the live chat. I don't see any more questions currently. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. So what do you want me to tell you about since you don't have any more questions? Want to talk more about the whole NHT thing or do you want to talk about finances? Oh, by the way, Garth, if you're still watching over there in Canada, please let me know what the weather is like now in Canada. I know that there is a significant uh, decline in the temperature in the US. So I want to know if you are also feeling that over there in Canada. I know that Canada is generally colder than the US. Kind of happy that we can't travel now because trust me, I don't want to be in your position. But let me know how that is going over there. JM, so I have more questions. Let me answer the question while I wait on Garth to tell me how that's going. So JM says, does the buyer have to get an attorney when buying a property or is it recommended? All right, JM. When you're buying a property in Jamaica, it's not a recommendation because if you try to buy a house without a lawyer, you can buy a house without a lawyer, you know. But I would say, if you're going to spend $15 million for argument's sake to buy a house, why would you be afraid to spend $500,000 to pay a lawyer when you're basically paying the lawyer to protect your large investment? So I would suggest that if you're purchasing a house, you use a lawyer. Um, I did a video about the different fees associated with purchasing a property.
And in that video, I outlined the different things that an attorney does when you are purchasing a property. So purchasing a property is not just, it's not as simple as buying a car. Although you could buy a car that is a stolen car. So if you're buying a car, you need to consult with the police and just make sure that the documents are good and so on. But as it relates to buying a house, there are people who try to sell houses that they do not own. So it's important for you to have an attorney if you're going to buy a lawyer. If you're going to, it's important for you to have a house, an attorney, sorry, if you're going to buy a house. I got mixed up a little bit there. Yes, so it's important for you to have a lawyer. It's not a recommendation. I would say it's a must have a lawyer. Must, must, must. Several red flags, even in the contract, the sale agreement. Persons can write things in the sale agreement that will mean absolutely nothing to you as a regular person. But when your attorney sees that, they will know if there are any irregularities and they can better advise you in a way that will help you to protect your investment. I have another question. I'm waiting on the persons who have not asked questions. Now is your time to shine. Feel free to go ahead and ask your questions. For those who have asked questions and have run out of questions, remember to hit the thumbs up button and share the video with your friends. All right, so JM is asking another question, and this question is, do you think a person who live and work in Kingston is wise in purchasing an Airbnb property in Trelawney or Discovery Bay? In the grand scheme of things, JM, remember that Jamaica is not really big. I can take 3 hours and get to Westmoreland. I live in Kingston. I can take 3 hours and get to Westmoreland, which is the furthest, one of the further parishes from Kingston. So if I can drive down to Negril in 3 hours, you can literally get to anywhere in Jamaica within a couple hours. So I wouldn't think it's unwise. No, once the property makes sense. And remember that over time you'll meet people, you'll build relationship, and that's why networking is so important. So over time you can get somebody to manage that property for you. So don't think about things. It's just like KFC. There are several branches of KFC, and they're not managed by just the one family that owns the franchise. They're managed by other people. So what you need to look at is building out your community, getting persons to assist you. So if you want to buy an Airbnb property in Discovery Bay and you live in Kingston, yes, you can go ahead and do that. Over time, you'll get help with managing it. You'll meet people and so on. So I wouldn't think that is unwise. Another question, though, that you might want to look at is if it's wise to buy an Airbnb property now when we don't have the large rate of persons traveling. So if the Airbnb property you are planning to buy is predominantly for tourists um, to use, then that is something that you might want to look into if it's wise. And that, of course, is because obviously, as a result of the pandemic, some persons cannot travel as much as they would want to. Like my friends in Canada, they have to stay put as a result of government restrictions. So, that's one of the questions that you want to ask yourself if it's wise to do that. All right. Thanks for that beautiful question, JM. Are there any other questions that you'd like to ask me? Remember, if you're just joining, this is the Ask Me Anything Live where you can literally ask anything at all, whether finance, real estate, personal, anything at all. So go ahead and ask your questions while I have some water. All right, not seeing any questions. So what do you want me to tell you about in the meantime while I wait on you to ask me your question? Um, I have questions for you too, as I said in my last live. So you have questions for me, and I have questions for you. Let me know in 3 words in the comment section how you feel about the channel or how the channel has assisted you in your personal life. So that's just type 3 words in my comment section um, as it relates to how you feel about the channel, my channel, and what the channel has done for you, or so on. While I wait on that, while I wait on you to do that, I'm just going to remind you of um of schedule, my channel schedule. I post a video on Fridays at 3 p.m. and I go live on Sundays at 6 p.m. So there's no need for you to miss another video. And remember to like this video, by the way, and to comment 3 words that the channel means to you. So just type no, 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 3 words that my channel mean to you. So whether it's the content, whether it's the vibe, the energy, whatever it is that you like, and it doesn't have to be something good. If you don't like something that I'm doing, you can tell me that also. I'm not averse to criticism or critique. So tell me in the comment section 3 words that the channel means to you. Some persons are already typing, so let me just go ahead and read those. Um, JM says it's informative, refreshing, fun. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. So, for the other persons on here, just go ahead and tell me in the comment section how you feel about the channel. 3 words, just 3 words, how you feel about the channel. And by the way, for those of you who have been consistently supporting the channel, consistently watching the content, consistently providing feedback in the form of comments on the channel, consistently sharing it on your WhatsApp statuses, I thank you so much for your support. Somebody just joined. We are currently typing words in the comment section that the channel means to us, so feel free to join in and just type 3 words that the channel means to you. So, yes, as I was saying, future millionaires, thank you so much for supporting my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching the videos, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, hitting the bell so that you can get notifications. Every time I go on some person's WhatsApp status, they're sharing the videos. Thank you so, so, so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. I have another comment though. Let me just quickly read those comments. So Donna Brown is saying her 3 words are inspiring, educational, motivational. Thank you. Timor O'Brien says eye opening. Wow. Thank you for those beautiful comments. I'm glad that you feel that way about the channel. Somebody just joined again. We're commenting 3 words in the comment section how you feel about the channel. And while you do so, I just want to say to the persons who have reached out to me via my Instagram page, which is also at Kayla.K.Keane. I want to say that as soon as this live ends, I'll be answering all the questions that you have DM'd me. This has been quite a busy week for me as it relates to work and everything. I didn't have much time to answer all your messages. There are persons also who have been messaging me on WhatsApp. So as soon as my live ends, I'll be answering all your questions on WhatsApp and Instagram. For those of you who are not yet following me on Instagram, my Instagram name is Kayla.K.Keane. Same thing as my YouTube channel name. So you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram. All right. Additionally, I have some more questions. Let me see what's going on here. Navi Bawar says, oops, hold on a second. Says, how to buy a house off off the market from a real estate agent, like if I see a house on the market for 7 million, how much does a real estate agent charge? Jabless is just waving hi. Hello, Jabless. Thanks for joining. All right, Navi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. All right, so you're asking how you go about buying a house on the open market. All right, so if you are contributing to the NHT, the National Housing Trust, what you need to do is firstly get your pre approval letter from the NHT. It will tell you how much you qualify for as a loan from the NHT. After getting that, you'll go to your financial institution with that letter to get your pre approval from the financial institution. After you have done that, then you are going to go ahead and give those information rather, as well as your TRN. Probably they'll ask for proof of address to your real estate agent, the real estate agent of your choice, and then let them know what it is that you're looking for. So they will look at how much money you can afford, and then they will search on the open market. It's not off the market, as you said, but it's called the open market. They will search for houses within the region and the price range that you can afford based on your pre-approval letter from the NHG and from the bank. So once you find a property that you can afford, then they will ask you to pay them a particular percent for helping them to find the house. That percentage is different with every real estate agent. So that's something you can discuss with your real estate agent prior to trying to purchase a property. By the way, for the persons who are just coming on, remember to like the video by hitting the thumbs up icon. Yes. All right. So, yes, Navi, that's basically how you go about purchasing a property on the open market. So, once you qualify, NHC will give you $6.5 million towards that purchase. And then um, you can go ahead and borrow a loan from the bank, as well as you can use money that you have. So if you have saving, then you can add your saving portion to that. Also, remember that if you're planning to buy a house, future millionaires, you need to have your down payment saved. Your down payment is 20% of the sale amount. 20% of the sale amount. So if the house is for $16 million, then you need to have 20% of that money to pay up front. Remember also that your lawyer, that is mandatory for you to have when purchasing a property. I'm saying mandatory. Under the law, it's not mandatory, but because I'm not going to advise you not to use a lawyer, and then you end up buying a property from someone who never owned the property in the first place because it's some fraud or scam. So I would advise you to buy a property and use a lawyer. So you'll have to save up some amount of money. So if you want to buy a house and you don't even know the first step, the first thing you need to start do is saving. You can't buy a house without money. And even if you're going to get 100% financing from the bank, you're going to need money to do something with that property. What if the property has some broken window panes or a damage to a section of the wall or an electrical issue that you need to fix, a plumbing issue? You want some new clothesline because the lines that are there are not what you want. You want to fix something with the pit. You want to change the garage. You want to put a door on the garage that is uh remote operated, then you're going to need money to do that. So I want you to think along that lines. Don't just think that, okay, I'll have my NHT amount and that's it. I was talking to somebody recently. One of my subscribers actually, I went into the pharmacy to buy something and she just said, Kayla, and I'm like, hi. But I was saying to myself, I don't know this person. And she says, oh, I subscribe to your YouTube channel, which was so exciting for me, of course, because I had on my mask and everything, and she still recognized me, which was so cool. But she was saying that she wants to purchase a house using just her NHT amount. And I told her that it's best if you save up something so that you can add to that amount. Remember that the NHT will only give you $6.5 million. That can't really buy a nice property. Well, it depends. If you're living in rural Jamaica, you might be able to get a really nice property, but the likelihood of that is quite minute. So, as a result, I have to advise you to save up some money. Yes, save up some money if you want to purchase a house. That is the first step that you need to take. So, Navi, I hope that answered your question. If there's anything that is still unclear, you can go ahead and tell me in the comment section. What are the other questions that you have, future millionaires? And by the way, Navi, that was a really good question. So thank you for asking. Jobless, I see you waving. How are you this evening? Which country are you watching from, Jobless? If you are watching from Jamaica, which parish? And by the way, guys, tell me which parishes you're watching from. Just comment your parish down below. Just comment the parish that you're watching from in my comment section so I can know where you are watching from. Quickly, just comment your parish. By the way, I'm in Kingston, so just comment your parish. Let me know where you are watching from. Represent for your parish. Represent for your parish. All right, so Timoy O'Brien is watching from Kingston. Where are the other parishes, guys? Comment your parish and let me know where you are watching from. Let me see if the 14 parishes are represent for your parish. Just comment your parish down below. All right, so Navi is watching from St. Catherine. So far we have one Kingston and one St. Catherine. What are the other parishes, future millionaires? Comment the parish that you're watching from. Just type it in the comment section. I want to know which parish you are watching from. Oh, and by the way, remember to subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button. It should be over here on your screen. Just hit the red subscribe button and hit the bell so that whenever I post, you'll get a notification, because I don't want you to miss a video that I'll post on Friday at 3 p.m. Very important video coming on Friday at 3 p.m. as per the schedule. Remember, the schedule is Fridays at 3 and Sundays at 6. Fridays at 3 and Sundays at 6. That's my program schedule. So I go live every Sunday at 6 p.m. and I post a video on Fridays at 3 p.m. So on a Sunday, if peradventure I have an emergency situation that stops me from from going live, then I will have to post a video at that time. So Sash Molo is commenting Kingston. So far I have Timoya Bryan watching from Kingston, Navi Bowar watching from St. Catherine, Sash Molo also watching from Kingston. So just ask any other questions that you want to ask now, future millionaires. Anything that you wanted to ask now. As the person's joining, just comment the parish that you are watching from. So far, Kingston is in the lead. What are the other parishes that are watching? I want to know who is going to win. Are we going to allow Kingston to win? I see 2 Kingston so far. Comment some other parishes that you're watching from. Represent for your parish. Yes, as I was saying before, though, future millionaires, on Friday I'm going to post a very important video. I know that some of you desperately need to buy a house. So you know that once there is a house available for you to buy, I am going to tell you all about it. So on Friday, I don't want you to miss that video, okay? Can't afford to miss that video on Friday because it will be some very important news that you need to know about. You know, I try to drop the videos about real estate offerings ASAP as soon as the information is available. It's on my channel first. For those of you who are interested in the Silver Sun Estate, I already did a video on it just to tell you that it was coming soon and to show you what that house is going to look like. So there are two bedroom houses with one bathroom, an open concept kitchen, living and dining room. So that is what the Silver Sun Estate Phase 2 is like. So if you go ahead and watch that video, then it will show you the floor plan for those houses. Someone is asking a question. Let me just check to see who that is. Okay, this is Henry Battle. How to buy a house in Jamaica if you live in the USA. All right, Henry, the first step for you is to, well, are you using the NHT? If you're using the NHT or you plan to use the NHT to purchase that house, then you need to be contributing to the NHT for at least 2 years. For Jamaicans living in Jamaica, they have to contribute for 1 year to access their NHT benefits. But if you're living in the US, you have to be contributing for at least 2 years. Secondly, you need a real estate agent to assist you with that process, because obviously you're not here. So if something becomes available, you are not going to be able to go and look like the rest of us. So you will need a real estate agent who can send you properties that are available, and you can even do your viewing online just to see the properties and to see the ones that you actually like. So at another scheduled time when you can travel to Jamaica, you already have an idea in your head of the properties that you are interested in. So, those are the basic information that you need to know for now, and your real estate agent will walk you through everything else that you need to know. Um, Let me just double check. Henry Battle, just let me know if my answer was sufficient or if there's something else that you need clarity on. Tell me also. Dorrington Burke says, do you have a WhatsApp line you use for questions? Unfortunately, Dorrington, no, I don't. And I don't want to give out my personal WhatsApp number on here. So, whatever questions that you have, it's best to ask me on uh, either in my community section here on YouTube, under any one of my videos, also here on YouTube, or if you have an Instagram account, you can ask me, you can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Kayla.K.Keane, which is the same as my YouTube name. Okay, so Henry Battle is saying, so I will need to wait 2 years. Oh, you're not there for 2 years as yet? I mean, you're not contributing for 2 years as yet. If not, yes, you need to be contributing for 2 years if you live abroad to access your NHT benefits. For persons who live in Jamaica, that information is different for you. You need to be contributing for 1 year. So that information is a little bit different for you. I have to drink water because my throat gets dry when I talk this much. All right, so for the persons who have not clicked the thumbs up icon, go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit the red subscribe button over this side. If you have not clicked the bell, go ahead and click the bell so that you can get notifications whenever I post a video. And remember also to share this video with your friends, families, and loved ones so that they can, one, become financially literate, and two, they too can achieve their goal of home ownership once they are given the information that they need to know. If there are no other questions, I'll just remind you of my channel schedule, which is I post a video every Friday at 3 p.m. and I go live every Sunday at 6 p.m. So there is no need for you to miss another upload, to miss another video, because my program schedule is the same. For the persons who asked about books earlier, what books to read, I did a recommendation. As soon as this live ends, I will write all of the book recommendations in the comment section. So if you missed that part, you will have access to it. So I have another question, which is from Miss Chrissy. It says, oh, Miss Chris, I beg your pardon. She is saying, what is the process of getting a loan to build on land? All right, Miss Chrissy. So if you want, it's called a build on land loan, BOL loan, from the National Housing Trust. What you need to do is to ensure that you firstly have the title of that parcel of land. If you don't have the land title, you need to have permission from the owner of the land in writing that you are allowed to build on that property. Once you are allowed, then you can take those documents to the NHT and they will tell you how much money you qualify for. And after that, you will have to do a drawing, a blueprint for the house that you're going to do, as well as an estimate of what the project will cost. And once you can provide that, the NHT will give you the money, not one time, but they will give you a portion of money. I think it's 20% of the cost to build the house so that you can start the project. Once you have started the project, they will give you money, allocate money as you go along so that you can continue building that house. With the build on land loan, it's dependent on your progress with the project. So if they tell you when they give you the first 20% of the money that you need to be out of the foundation stage by April, for argument's sake, and you are not out of foundation stage by April, they're not going to give you any more money until you are out of that stage. So they want to ensure that you're using the money to build a house and not to do anything else. So that is basically how the process goes, Miss Chris. All right, Miss Chris is asking another question. I'm going to just answer her before I go to Navi, since it will be about the same thing that I'm already talking about. Miss Chris says, okay, do they give loan to buy then land or to build as well? Yes, they give loans to buy land and they give loans to build on land that you already own. So yes to both questions, Miss Chrissy. Um, Henry Battle says, thanks. You are most welcome, my dear. I'm here for all of you. Navi says, I am throwing NHE for 8 years. Wouldn't wouldn't it be a wise time to apply for the Silverstone house? Yes, Navi, you can apply. You can apply. Applications are not yet open though. In the Friday video, I'll tell you when the applications are open, okay? So don't miss that. Dorrington Burke is saying that he's in St. Andrew. Okay, Dorrington, thanks for sharing your parish with me. I was asking earlier for persons to type their parish in the comment section. Miss Chrissy says, okay, thanks. You are welcome, my dear. Miss Chrissy says, I mean, in the same breath, will they give me money to buy the land and build on it as yet? Yes, yes, Miss Chrissy. So, firstly, what you're going to do, hold on. So, firstly, if you see a parcel of land that you want to buy, you can apply through the NHT to purchase that parcel of land. And then you can access the build on land loan which will allow you to build your house. So if you're one of the persons who don't want to just buy a house off the open market, you don't want to buy a NHT scheme house, then that is an option that is available to you. So yes, you can do that. Let me see if I have any other questions. No, I don't have any other questions. Remember to comment your parish, the parish that you're watching from, Future Millionaires. Miss Chrissy, where are you watching from? She says, okay, thanks, with a smiley face. All right. Which parish are you watching from? God bless. What parish are you watching from? Henry Battle, where are you watching from? Oh, Henry's in the US. Navi is in St. Catherine. Okay, I have another comment from Sash Molo. It says, your channel always keep me on my toes when I am to spend. I analyze spending habits better and I make better financial decisions. I wish I had this knowledge when I was much younger. Okay, that is awesome. I am glad that you feel that way, and I'm glad that the channel is assisting you. Dorrington Burr commented his 3 words about the channel, how he feels about the channel. He says it's informative, interesting, and accurate. Thank you so much for those comments, Dorrington. Um, just assist me to check through the comment section to see if I have missed anything. Miss Chris says she is watching from St. Catherine. So far we have 2 persons watching from St. Catherine, 2 persons watching from Kingston, somebody's in St. Andrew, and some persons have not responded. But thank you all so much for watching. Since you have no more questions for me, I'll just give you 2 more minutes to ask. And if not, all right, the questions coming in now. If not, I'm gonna go. So ask your questions. Miss Chris says, uh, this is my go-to channel. Anything I need to know, I can get all the answers here. Thank you so much, Miss Chris, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for just being a part of the big Future Millionaires family. We have to do this together. As I said in the beginning of the video, we are stronger together as a community. So there's no sense for us to hide knowledge, keep it to ourselves when we can share it and everybody own them house. Everybody can become financially literate. Everybody can save together. We're better together. So give the video a thumbs up, and just 1 minute to go to ask any questions you want. Give the video a thumbs up, guys. Like. Share it with your friends. Remember that when the live ends, the video will still be up on my channel. So if you missed any part of it, you can go back and watch it. Remember also that I post twice weekly, on a Friday at 3 and on a Sunday at 6 p.m. So thank you so much for spending this part of your day with me. And until next time, future millionaires, remain financially literate. Bye bye.